Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today I wanted to go over how much it actually costs to buy all gameplay affecting upgrades, as well as some promotions, in Deep Rock Galactic. Depending on the level of interest, I might add cosmetic items to this sheet later on, but for the time being I wanted to focus on gameplay related items. So without further ado, let's take a look at the spreadsheet. So here's the resource I made recently that kind of itemizes all the upgrades and progression related costs in DRG. So first we'll go over the base equipment stuff, so this is all your actual on-weapon upgrades in the tiers, as well as all your upgrades for your alternate equipments, cost of unlocking grenades, and armor. So here's the total value for each of these lines. It sums up all of these rows. And this is a little bit inaccurate, at least regarding the weapons, because in reality you don't have to buy 3 upgrades in every tier. So in some tiers you can cut this down to a third of its original value, other tiers you only have 2 choices, so you'd cut it down to half. All very loose approximations though, but if you want to get all the upgrades on everything on one class, this is how much it will cost you. And I'm quite surprised by how equal it is across the board, in that it's about 300,000 credits on every class, and also around 14 to 1600 minerals. There's a few extreme outliers like Crappa on Driller and Jada's on Engineer, but overall it's pretty similar in ballpark, and Bismore on Scout is another pretty extreme one. But overall, it's around 14 to 1600 minerals and 300,000 credits to fully upgrade each class, so in total that's 1.2 million and around 6,000 of each mineral. Next, to briefly go over the overclocks, I've actually broken these down into individual overclock, but also there's a total for each one of the weapons. And in actuality, I'm quite surprised to find out that it's about the same cost as buying all of your base equipment upgrades to get all the overclocks for one class. The mineral costs tend to be a little bit higher, ranging from like 16 to 1800, with some outliers around 2000. But once again, there's some really extreme low outliers as well, with 1100 Enor pearls on Driller. And similar to the base equipment upgrades, it's about the same across every class, 300,000 credits and around 16 to 1800 minerals. 3000 even Magnite on Gunner is really funny. So now to get into the actual unnecessary air quote stuff, because some people will elect not to do it, but I think for a lot of people, promotions are something that they consider mandatory. So looking at promotions here, we see they obviously start off pretty expensive and get quite pricey near the end. And another thing important to note about promotions is they actually stay the same mineral type per class, so Driller is only ever Umanite, Enor Pearls, and Jadas, and across all 4 classes, it will use each mineral type 2 times, meaning 2 classes require Magnite, 2 classes require Bismore, 2 classes require Umanite, on and on and on, so that it's essentially equal at the end of the day. So if we look at Umanite, for example, we can see Driller and Gunner need it, Scout and Engineer do not. But something pretty extreme about the promotions is to actually just get to Legendary 3 one time on one class, it actually costs you more credits and I think minerals as well than buying all base upgrades and base equipment upgrades for all the classes. Obviously the mineral distribution will be a little bit different there, as this is all 3 types of minerals, but spreading this across 4 different classes could make it pretty pricey in comparison to actually buying upgrades. And the grand total for getting all classes to max without any Legendary 3 repeating promotions is 5.5 million credits and around 15,000 of each mineral type, which is pretty extreme in comparison to the actual gameplay changing upgrades, especially considering only the first promotion actually makes any impact on the gameplay. And now to just wrap things up a little bit, here we have the master sheet with all the base equipment numbers, with around 300,000 credits each. That brings you up to about 1.2 million for all the base equipment upgrades. All the overclocks in total are shockingly actually less than all the base equipment. However, they do have a slightly higher average mineral price of about 1,000 to 1,200. And then the promotions kind of blow everything else out of the water by costing more credits and minerals than the other 2 categories combined. So at the end of the day, that brings us to a grand total of 7.8 million credits and about 300,000 of each mineral type to fully upgrade every single class, by every overclock, and reach max level promotion. And a little bit of extra information that I gathered for you is actually how much I've spent on repeating Legendary 3 promotions. This is not counting Bronze through Legendary 2, this is just the amount of times that I've promoted to Legendary 3 repeatedly. And I gotta say, I'm quite surprised by these numbers, as it doesn't feel like this much money or minerals have passed through my hands in the past, as I pretty much always stay in the green and I'm constantly gaining minerals and credits. But this just kind of gives you an idea of how much it actually costs to get to around level 3000 in the current balance of the game. If you would like to use this sheet and kind of jury rig it into some sort of completion tracker by, putting done next to each category or got it next to the overclocks, you can also delete each individual line, and you'll see these numbers up here actually update to reflect that, since I use the sum pools. But also, if you just want to put a little check marks next to each overclock, that's another thing that you could possibly do. I'm not very good with spreadsheets, so if some individual would like to take a copy of this and actually make it into something a little bit more useful and add some more tracker information on the right, I would highly encourage you to do so. You can find the link to this in the description down below. If you'd like to copy it, make some alterations, and re-upload it in the Discord, I'd love to see it. That's all I have for you today. A bit of a shorter one, but I thought those numbers were pretty interesting and worth sharing. If you'd like to join, become a YouTube member, get your name in the credits of every video, get early access to new videos, along with some other perks, you can check out the join button down below. And once again, a huge thank you to Really Noteless. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream over on Twitch. If you'd like to talk to me or any of my community members or show me a better version of this same spreadsheet, you can find me in my community over on Discord. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.